How can the Ottawa Senators stage the upset in the Battle of Ontario? To discuss that and many topics related to this much anticipated series is the face of Ottawa hockey, Marc Methot. And Marc, you were the face of Ottawa hockey. Let's go maybe to the current face of Ottawa hockey, and that's Brady Tkachuk, who's back from injury. If you were coach Travis Green, what would you be telling your captain about how to approach this series?
I'm not telling him too much, Aaron. I am letting him loose. We know when Brady is at his best, you're not holding the man back. We saw it at the Four Nations Cup. He was terrific. I think he surprised a lot of people, quite frankly, with his play. So he's dynamic. He's a unicorn. He's hard to predict. But I think if he's healthy, he's going to be a handful. And this is what people have to look forward to. And I can speak to this being a former defenseman playing in those playoff games against guys similar to Brady. I won't say there weren't too many of them, but those big power forwards that have the ability to put the puck away. And that's going to be a nightmare for a lot of guys. I'm looking at players like Jake McCabe on the back end, obviously Chris Tanev as well. That pairing's going to get the brunt of it. He's going to get in their face. He's going to talk his talk. He's going to get in the goaltender's face. He's going to talk to Anthony Stolarz. They're going to create some dialogue. So all those things are distracting. Never mind running at players when there's a loose puck race, that kind of thing. So he's clutch. He has that ability to elevate his game when it matters most. And getting back on that top line there with Tim Stutzle and Claude Giroux, they've got some terrific chemistry together. I just think for me, it's a blue paint battle. And if you can get the right matchups, it's going to heavily favor Ottawa.
You mentioned Tim Stutzle, Brady Tkachuk's line mate, 76 points in 81 games this season. How would you grade his regular season, and what are you expecting from the German in his first playoff foray?
Well, it's hard to judge him off the regular season. I know perhaps he took a bit of a step back if you compare to his totals from 2 years ago where he reached 90 points. But I'm not looking at that right now. I'm looking at the big picture. For me, he's taken a big step forward, and it's very straightforward. They're making the playoffs this season. That's the difference. So that starts with the coaching staff. Steve Staios did a great job bringing in Travis Green, and it tracks very well with Toronto's progress as well. You think, looking at point totals, guys getting their cookies, their apples, their goals, but a player like Timmy is playing a more rounded game now, that 200-foot game that you always hear coaches preach about. So for me, he's in a great spot right now. Yes, there was a little bit of a goalless drought, if you will, here in the final stretch of the season, but that also coincided with Brady Tkachuk being injured and not in the lineup. So for me, and Tim Stutzle, you just have to stick to his game. If I'm talking to him on the bench, I don't want to give him too much information. I think he's got to focus on the task. Get back with Brady. They got an opportunity to play in Carolina now for their final game. Get that chemistry going again. He'll be in a great spot.
Meth, I know you're a big fan of Ottawa's third line. Ridley Gregg, Shane Pinto, Michael Amadio. What type of impact can that trio make in the Battle of Ontario?
Well, I love this line, and I think this is the difference between Toronto and Ottawa right now, is Ottawa has a legitimate shutdown line. You mentioned it. Pinto, Gregg, and Amadio. And I think they've got a terrific balance. If you look down the middle right now, Ottawa made a great move there when they went after Dylan Cousins. That allows Ottawa a little bit more flexibility now to shuffle some of those guys down. So now you've got Shane Pinto on your third line. He's great in faceoffs. He's great in the faceoff dot. A lot of great chemistry with those two players. And I look at a player like Ridley Gregg and some of the history with the empty netter that he scored against Toronto, a little bit of a rift there. He's going to drag those two in a lot of scrums. So they're going to be a nightmare to play against. And I'm looking at Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, and Matthew Nyes. That'll be the challenge, I think, for Ottawa's third line and how they're going to shut down Toronto. So pretty straightforward with that group. We know what they're going to do. And this is another thing I'll add, Aaron. There's a scoring touch there. Shane Pinto could flat out score. Michael Amadio is real good around the net. He's got a terrific stick. And Ridley Gregg does what Ridley Gregg does. He's a bit of a pest. He's going to get in your face. He's going to stop short right in front of your goaltender, create a lot of scrums. I like the energy from that third line.
This goaltending battle between Toronto and Ottawa, Matt, is really interesting. Anthony Stolarz making his playoff debut as a starter with Toronto versus Linus Ullmark, who's won a Vezina Trophy, has had a lot of quality performances in the past. Who do you think has the edge between the two teams?
Look, I got to take off my Sens goggles here for this one, I suppose, because I know Anthony Stolarz has been terrific in this last stretch. But conversely, so is Linus Ullmark. And then again, he's got a Vezina under his belt. So it's going to be a great battle. If I'm going to be honest with you guys right now, that's a wash. I think they cancel each other out. They're both great. They're both peaking at the right time and finding their game here heading into the playoffs. So they're both in a great position. I like Toronto's tandem perhaps a little bit better, including Joseph Woll there. It gives you a little more flexibility pending injuries. But head-to-head between Ullmark and Stolarz, I think it's 50-50. I think depends on the defense, how they're defending, how much special teams you're looking at. But all in all, I'm pretty comfortable with that matchup.
Mark, we got about 10 seconds left. Give me your winner in the Battle of Ontario.
Don't hate me, Toronto fans. I'm going Ottawa Senators in 7. It could end in 6 with Toronto, but if Ottawa can find, if the stars align for them, they get proper goaltending and they shelter their third pairing, they're going to do a good job.
Good news for you. They will still allow you into Byward Market. Thank you for this, Matt.
Thanks, guys.